Hello, this video is made for adults, especially for women. I read this book, and one of the chapters talks about this issue. At work or in social activities, sometimes women have no intention to get sexual intimate at all with any man. And however, in some other times, women do play flirtatious games with men. And so it's very important for women to be conscious, to make a conscious choice that at which level not continue if they wish. I'm not here to blame women or whatever the responsibility of the other party. Let's say in a very high crime neighborhood, if you walk in an unlit street and you're robbed, so the robber is fully responsible for any consequences, but you're robbed. So by walking in that neighborhood, you put yourself in a risk higher situation. So the same with our social life. So we have to be very careful, not in order not to be victimized. We have to be careful not put ourselves in a higher risk situation. So the first precaution or the first measurement we can take is that you have to be able to see the sexual signal, whatever sent out to you, and to physically break with it quickly once it starts, before it progresses. For example, when somebody touches your hand, touches your arms, and just take your arms away. And when somebody put their hand around your body, just turn around, break it away. And the second is that use verbal words to communicate and to make it very, very clear, to give them the unequivalent communication. Oh, please don't do that. Please don't touch me this way. Please don't hold my hand. Make it very, very clear. Sometimes if you get a very obvious sexual signal, just make it even clearer. Use the word no. No, I don't want to have sex with you. No, I don't want to go to bed with you. Don't do that again. So normally, the other party will back off. I'll explain that later. But if that person continues with physical contact, then it's getting dangerous, because that person is looking for trouble. Then you should leave that person right away, as fast as possible. The reason is because normally when you give no to men's ego is very fragile. So they will just take the no as a very big no and just walk away. If they don't, then there's something going on there. They're not that rational anymore. They're getting aggressive. And especially when men drink. So normally when a very, let's say, polite or know how to behave socially properly, and they will become aggressive after drinking. The reason is because as human beings, we have this balance system. On one hand, we're risk takers. It's good for our advancement, for our survival. It's good for us to take advantage of all the opportunities out there. That's why we have impulses. But on the other hand, we have inhibition in our mind. The inhibition will make us to think of the consequences we're going to face later. So this will stop us from taking the unnecessary risks. So those two things, they balance each other. However, after drinking doesn't make a person becomes braver. Instead, drinking makes the person lower the inhibition part. So that's why when you go to a bar, have you ever noticed why it's so dim there? Because when it's so dim, that lowers your consciousness, makes you just feel, oh, take it easy, relax, right? So if you don't want to get into trouble, be very, very careful. when men are drinking. Don't be alone when men are drinking. Especially don't drink yourself. So it's very critical for, doesn't matter men or women, if you don't want to be a victim. So watch out for the sexual signals and see how does it progress. And because normally that takes steps to progress. Let's say two people might, oh, do you want to get together somewhere, like, just alone? So that's a signal, but it doesn't mean anything sexual. So maybe the next step is that, do you want to come to my office, come to my apartment? So that's another step. And the third step maybe even higher. So it's very important for women to have this capacity to choose to stop at whichever level you don't want to continue. And for men it's different, because for men is when they don't receive any refusal, any concrete no, they perceive that as a permission to go ahead, as even an encouragement. So if a man is refused at the first beginning, then men's ego is just too fragile. They will stop. They won't attempt to go further. However, if men perceives the goal, they perceive the goal from you, and they will progress. And then to a certain level, their ego has built up to a high, very high level. And if they get an abrupt no, abrupt for them from women, they will get aggressive. They will become angry. And that's why that's very dangerous, especially after drinking for men. So sometimes as adults, women and men do play flirtatious games, but both should be responsible for our own consequences. Don't hold the other person for your own actions. That's very important. And here, especially for women, so women sometimes are victimized for another reason, and this happens to men too, but more for women, is that women have problems saying no. Women would think, oh, if I refuse him, I would hurt his feelings. But we have to be responsible for our decisions, not just about other people's feelings, because in this kind of situation, that can lead to a very dangerous situation for women. Now we come to a very deep psychology reason why people have problems saying no, why people, like, especially for people pleasers. There are several factors in forming that kind of mindset. For example, for young girls are trained, are told to be nice, to be compliant, to listen, don't object, don't say no. So after growing up, women equals not saying no, not refuse other people as nice people. And when we say no, when we refuse people, it's not nice to other people. And some children, they wanted to rebel, they wanted to say no. However, because the parents are too strong to beat, so children will be defeated, of course. So in that case, some children develop this mindset that it's useless to fight, it's useless to stand up for myself. So there are other situations too. So for people who are people pleasers and who wanted to be nice to other people, there's a very important factor they have to see. That's very important, because normally people who do this consider themselves, especially, like, for example, I consider myself to be nice to people. I consider myself to be an angel, to be noble, to sacrifice my own needs to cater for other people. But there is something beneath that. I'm doing this because I'm trying to get what I want from other people too. So I'm, in a word, I'm a victimizer. This is very important for women to recognize this, for any people who are doing this. We're not that innocent. We're doing this in exchange to get what we want in life, to make us feel safe. So I know some people might be shocked hearing this. This is very important to recognize. So because by recognizing this, we can see this is our way of manipulating this world, of how to survive in this world. We are suppressing our strength. We don't have to fight, don't have to stand up for ourselves, don't have to be assertive. We can just get things by being nice. So this is the mentality. Is you can never get anything from your boss, from, for example, a raise, by not expressing your wishes, by not demand or ask for it, by just being nice. Those things would happen. Another very very detrimental thing for this kind of thinking is that this make people believe that life is supposed to be easy and soft. Life is just a bed of roses. You don't have to, there's no hardship there. You don't have to fight. You get whatever you want. But the truth is that life is difficult. That's a great truth. Like nobody, no wolves, no things in the world, no bears, no nothing will get whatever they want by not expressing themselves, by not fighting, by not stand up for themselves. So this mentality takes ours, like especially the people, women's strength away, because we don't know we have the strength. We think we're weak. I don't have it. That's not true. People don't realize for example, by going against our will, when we say yes to people, when we mean no, we harbor this anger inside. That takes a lot of energy to hide the anger. And also it takes tremendous force to avoid a fight. So basically it takes more strength, more force to avoid fighting than really fight. So we have the strength. Like imagine when you're cornered, then you couldn't do anything, then you couldn't please people anymore. You will just flip, blow up. Where does the force come from? When you blow up, that's the strength inside you. So it's something we have. So to understand this mentality is very important, as in our daily life, when we expect the exterior qualities to improve our lives, we're powerless. Oh, if only my boss could treat me better, then I'll be happier. If only I can find a quality spouse or partner, then my life will be better. If only I can get more money, my life will be better. So all those exterior things are beyond our control. If we turn around, ask ourselves, in whatever situation, what can I do about it? There is always something you can do about it. Then you have strength. You will find the strength inside you. Then you gain power. Always. Let's say even I have terminal illness. I only have 2 months to live. There anything I can do about it? Yes. That is what unique about human being. Even in that situation, I can turn around, ask myself, how can I make my life meaningful in the last 2 months? How can I contribute? So I will feel better than doing nothing, than being just fully controlled by the illness. There is always something we can do. This is the meaning of life. I think we're talking too far, but however, I highly recommend this book. This is the best book about relationship I've ever read. remember, we have strength. We can stand up for ourselves, but it takes practice, daily practice. Thank you for watching. If you wanted to watch the Chinese version of this video, you can click the link there to go to my Chinese channel. And also, I will put the link for this book below. So it's a great book for you to, if you are interested in reading. Thank you for your time, and see you next time.